Me and my career, yeah, we used to go together real bad. Have you made your career choice simply for money? Yeah, I did that. And it didn't work out too bad. What's up, YouTube? My name is Kimberly. Welcome back to Chatty Introvert TV. This is the platform that I created to share my thoughts and ideas. And in today's video, I'm going to be discussing how I broke up with my career. When I went to a summer program and got introduced to the career of pharmacy, they shared what the starting career salary was. And I was like, show me the money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was not bad. It was like $60,000 a year in 1997. So I was extremely impressed with that, knowing that I only had to spend 6 years of education to become a licensed pharmacist. However, this was not my first career choice. So let's just get into that. I wanted to be a pediatrician from the age probably about 8 or 9. I loved babies, children. And what my mom told me was, she was a school teacher. So she told me, you're too smart to be a teacher. So I just combined my natural abilities to excel in science, in math, and thinking about healthcare. And I said, okay, pediatrician. That's what, a doctor that takes care of babies or kids would do. Fast forward several years into graduating high school, I decided that I was not sure about medical school. Medical school was a lot to invest in terms of time. And I just was not sure that my idea of the way that I wanted to live my life, I wanted to get married, I wanted to have my own children. I didn't want my career to dominate my entire life. Now, all along, I had people in my life that I knew were pharmacists, but I only knew of the drugstore version of that career. And so I decided that that was not going to be for me. I didn't want to stand around and count pills all day. On paper, everything lined up. Although I had no experience in this career, I went forward with that plan and I decided to go to pharmacy school. So with that, I got in after my 2 years of prereqs and was enrolled in school and decided that I needed to get some experience. So I wanted a job, even though my mom, she was very cautious and said I needed to just focus on school. I wanted to have some money in my pocket and I wanted to get some experience because that's really what everyone in school was doing. So I got my first job at Walmart as an intern. And the first day that I worked, I knew that pharmacy, at least retail, was not going to be for me. I knew immediately that it was somewhat of a misalignment. I won't call it a mistake, but it was not truly what I wanted to do. However, I was already enrolled in school. I did not have any backup plans. So I just went full steam ahead and finished that degree. Now, what I did when I first got out of pharmacy school was I worked for retail. I worked in a retail setting. And I was in for a rude awakening at just how much I was not going to like retail pharmacy. 0 stars, would not recommend. Now, I know there are people who are thebomb.com in retail pharmacy and they love it. To each its own. It just wasn't for me. I'm just saying, like, not being able to go to the bathroom, not being able to eat, sit down and have, a 30-minute lunch break, standing on your feet all day, multitasking, the drive-through, the phone, the people at the window or at the counter. All of that was a lot for my introverted self. Okay. So I would leave work exhausted. I would be down for the count and the shifts varied. I would work 8 to 4, 2 to 10 every other weekend. it was brutal. I knew I wasn't going to last. I knew I was not going to be able to sustain that. So I made another move, and that was to the VA hospital. I ended up getting my hospital career experience there, and I actually enjoyed that much better. And I excelled in that. But as life moves on, and I got married to someone in the military, started having children, then we moved around, I had exposure to a lot of different other career paths in pharmacy. I also worked as a medication safety pharmacist, and that led me to where I knew I had more in me, like being a perfectionist and just getting things right. Like my brain was wired literally to find solutions to problems and be a process improvement oriented person. Like those were just things that I didn't realize were strengths of mine. But also when I had to prepare presentations, I noticed how I would spend a lot of time, making sure that the visuals were good, that it was interesting, and that just led me back to a childhood interest in the arts. And so with that, I knew I had a lot more to give. I wasn't sure if pharmacy was going to allow me to fully explore that, but I knew it was there. Like that's where I discovered it. And it solidified in me that I was not going to be able to work as a pharmacist for another 20 years. Like I was going to have to dive into the things that really lit me up inside. And that was not currently going on in pharmacy. Now, couple that with working environments. Okay. So even though it may not have been as fast paced for me where I was working, I would say that there can be working environments that are toxic. And I have dealt with a lot of those over my career. That was just not something that I wanted to continue to endure. And it kind of made me push to find my own way a lot sooner. And with that being said, it really is important to have a financial plan, a financial way to sustain yourself when you're trying to pivot, if you will, into another career path. So all of that was helpful for me to be able to do that at this point, to make that plan, to execute that plan, and to have it seamlessly work at the time that I needed it to. But yeah, so we broke up. And when I say broke up, I had to break up with the mindset of how I viewed my career. I thought that my career was very specific. And usually, there are transferable skills, but being a pharmacist is a really small niche, if you will. And so you have to really, really be able to market yourself into other sectors. And especially if you niche down further in pharmacy and have a very specific expertise and do that for a few years, then yeah, you kind of are out of the loop on a lot of the other things that are going on with pharmacy. So with that being said, I thought this was the only thing I could ever do because I had spent this 6 years to be a pharmacist, and that's all I knew. That's all I could do. I had to change my thinking because I was pretty much codependent. I was codependent, like the money was good. So I was getting the money from the career, and no matter what sector, no matter what job I had, I always performed well. That is just in my character to do so. And so the career got the best of me, and I got the financial gain from it. And I had to break up with the way that I viewed that's not the only thing that I can be good at. That's not the only way that I can earn income. I had to broaden my perspective on what that looked like for me. The other ways that, it was a little bit toxic for me was that I was pushing myself to be unhappy. And again, another mindset shift, because I did not have to endure any more of it than I wanted to. I no longer needed to. And that was a financial plan that I executed probably 5 years ago. So yeah, don't think that it is too late for you to come up with a plan. The plan can work for you, and the plan can be started today, and you can put forth certain goals that you want to accomplish, and it can work no matter what. Just know that you have what you need in order to make the shift in your life that you want to make. And that's what it boils down to. What do you want? And I had to break up with that people pleasing. The reason why I went into pharmacy was because I thought about what my mom said at times, where I'm too smart to do this thing. And because of my character, I'm going to do things well. So it doesn't matter what it is that I do and what it looks like to anyone else. It's about how it makes me feel. And if I'm happy doing whatever it is I decide, ultimately that's all that matters. So yeah, I broke up with my career, and I'm excited to just dive into the parts of me that I have not openly shared with a lot of people. Maybe only some people who are really close to me know. But otherwise, if you would just meet me, you may think I'm just, this quiet person who never talks, who doesn't have layers to them. But honestly, there's a lot more to me. And I just want you guys to be as open to yourselves as I am becoming. So that is why I'm sharing this journey, because I believe it is something that I know that a lot more people are struggling with. And I want to be transparent and share so that hopefully that will motivate someone else who might be feeling stuck in their life, who might be feeling like they don't have options. But that's essentially what this journey has done for me. I have been able to make myself options by my career path, which no one can take from me, the degrees and the knowledge that I have. That opened me up to some financial choices that would make me, again, have options that I can decide when something is for me and when I can walk away. That's like one of the biggest lessons that I hope my children get from me is your education provides you with options, especially if you are financially responsible. And those options are very important and key to sometimes your happiness and what you're able to do, the changes that you're able to make for yourself, how you're able to pivot from one thing to the next when it's no longer serving you. Those are the lessons that I hope my three sons can take from me as I just move along this life's journey. But yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like, share, and subscribe. And please stay tuned because I have so much more to share.